You're listening to Soapbox Daily, episode 197. Hey, I'm your host, Matt Morgan, and thank you very much for tuning in today to today's show. It is getting down there, folks. We are on the countdown to next week, and we have less than a week now for the Soapbox Daily for the foreseeable future. But you know what? Hey, never forget, keep your integrity in check. Because how has your integrity been? Are you doing the right thing when no one else is watching? Are you making the positive change the world needs? It's important, folks, because you'd be surprised how many people observe other people and the actions that people do. And if we all do better things, the right things, positive things, good things in this world, we can influence others to do the same thing. And then it becomes a domino effect, folks. This is how we change behaviors, because a lot of behaviors are learned and also trying to fit in and trying to simulate. So that kind of goes hand in hand, of course, what we're talking about. You know, actions are one thing, but another important thing is your word. And today's topic is title for today is giving your word is your honor. Yeah, you've heard it said 1,000 times in your life. You're only as good as your word. But what does you're only as good as your word really mean? I mean, it sounds simple, but is it? I mean, we're born into this world and brought up in a society that expects people to be true to the promises they make. In the simplest term, we're taught to do what we say we are going to do. When I was younger, that idea seemed very important to me. It still does. Not keeping one's word can have very serious impacts. At the same time, however, I'm concerned that the commitment to keeping one's word has lost its importance in today's society, which has far-reaching implications, more than people really realize. I mean, years ago, many agreements were made and kept with a single handshake. A single handshake. People didn't have to worry about things going sideways after saying what they were going to do. In today's world, some people will agree to a deal, but if something better comes along, they will do what they can to walk away from their prior commitments. Sad, isn't it? And people become so wishy-washy and so fickle. It's like, forget about my word. They don't care. But I hear people screaming about, oh, my honor. Oh, you disrespected my honor. Oh, how dare you disrespect me like that? Disrespect my honor and stuff. But do you really realize how many times you dishonor yourself? How many times you dishonor others, including yourself? For a simple thing of your word, not living up to your word. Your word is your honor. Your word should be your bond. You say you're going to do something, you do it. People seem to be very wishy-washy these days, even with their actions. I mean, there's another saying of actions speak louder than words, which I strongly believe in, but I still believe in the given word. I still believe that when somebody says they're going to do something, they're going to do it. But I also believe that actions speak louder than words, so follow it through with actions. Now, if you're going to follow something through with actions, then that's a commitment to your word. They kind of go hand in hand. I mean, I could be fickle and say stuff, prime examples is look at these wishy-washy people when it comes to following or subscribing or any sort of commitment they make when they hit these social media buttons of like and follow and subscribe and blah, 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 blah. Believe it or not, you're kind of making yourself look bad when you take away that follow, you take away that subscribe. You don't like something that was said in a particular post or a video or something like that. You're kind of reneging on your deal that you made. I know some people say, okay, you're splitting hairs there. You're kind of going next level, but I'm just giving you an idea of something that maybe some of you people that are completely hooked on TikTok and all these social media streams can actually relate to. But believe it or not, you're kind of reneging on your word when you do that. It's an action that you have to go through. It's a conscious thought when you actually decide to commit to following somebody and then you take it back because you're having a bad day or your friends think it's uncool. I don't know. I might be splitting hairs there. I'm just saying. Overall, there's very little in this world that you can control. I mean, you can't control other people. You can't control what others think of you. You can't control what decisions other people make, and you can't control how other people think. You can, however, control what you choose to say, and you should choose your words very carefully. When you tell someone that you are going to do something, you should follow through and do that thing, unless some outrageous emergency prevents you from doing so. And if something urgent comes up, you should immediately let those people know who are depending on you know that you will not be able to come through with what you said you were going to do. Responsibility. That's honorable in itself. When you repeatedly say you are going to do this or that, but you rarely follow through, people will learn that they can't really trust you. They can't really trust you, and you will lose their respect. Hands down. Don't kid yourself. They won't respect you because you don't respect them to follow through. Sometimes people say they will do things because they don't want to disappoint others by saying they can't do it, or that they don't really want to do it. However, when that person turns around and doesn't actually do what he or she says they're going to do, that is much more disappointing to the person they promised it to. The person would rather just be told he or she doesn't plan to do it, and that way the person could find someone else to ask. Your word ultimately is all you have that you can really count on. I mean, really. It's your signature. Just make sure that other people can count on you too when you give your word, because that's a commitment. That's your honor. That's how people remember you, and that's your respect. That's everything else. Honor your word, folks. Honor your word, and also honor your actions too. And above all else, like I keep mentioning to you for almost 200 episodes, is hey, have some integrity. Do the right thing when no one else is watching. You don't need a camera on you. You don't need proof. You don't need to show the rest of the world that you're doing the right thing. Just do the right thing because it's the right thing to do. And follow it up with giving your word and doing good actions. That's about it. All right, that's about it for today. Yeah, I know I'm late, but you know what? The wind's really blowing out of my sails when it comes to the show, and that's kind of why I'm summing it up and wrapping it up next week. But in my absence, when I'm gone, when we stepped away from this for a bit, please check out themadmorgan.com. Yes, themadmorgan.com for all our podcasts and projects and shows moving forward, because I plan on diving into a few other projects, and I'd like you to come along. So check it out, themadmorgan.com. Well, as you know, I'm your host, Mad Morgan. I hope you have an amazing rest of the day. Keep in mind, tomorrow's Friday. Yay, so the weekend's almost here. Have yourself a good one. Take care of yourself, and I'll see you next episode.